Okay. Are we... Yeah, we're rolling. Okay. I guess try this again. Hopefully everybody who was here last time is... They call me Socks. Yay! Welcome back, friend. Does that mean everybody else is going to come too? Hopefully. Not sure what the heck happened, but things that were working suddenly were not working anymore. Come on now. Be good. Be good. Okay, cool. Alexander, how are things in Sweden? That's good. Audio still okay? Hey, Milan. How are things in Germany? Holy cow, we got like the whole United Nations in here. RZ Rider. Nerfinator. You call me Sucks. Proton Pack. Awesome. Alexander, dark and depressive. Isn't that kind of a Europe thing? I mean, isn't that kind of how things are over on that side of the world? Edscar, stream resuscitate. Yes, sorry, I don't know what the heck happened, but oh, from US of A. Justice Carnley. That's not too far away. Okay. All right. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. Yes, Alice. A live unboxing. That's going to be a new thing now. Because it seems weird to have, especially since I have the P.O. box now, and I'm getting a few things once in a while, it seems weird to have like an actual official video to be like, hi, I got a thing, or I bought a thing. It seemed kind of silly, but it's still stuff I want to be able to share and still be able to, you know, when I get things from people unsolicited, then it's kind of cool to have a shout out or whatever, at least recognize them for their contributions or whatever. Or just also when I'm getting things in the mail, to just kind of let you guys know kind of what's going on, since it might not make it on the Instagram or Facebook, and it might not make it on the channel. It's just kind of like, I'm getting things. And this is a cool way to not only just kind of hang out with you guys, because I tried doing that actually working on a project, but it didn't work out so hot because it's hard to focus on the stream, focus on the project, explain things, and really be productive with what I'm doing. So, here we go. Holy smokes, you guys are talking. Yeah, Alice, I would imagine there's a few interesting things that you receive at your house. Oh, Edscar, yes, it says boy on the barcode. And yes, Alice, I'm assuming that the things that I get in the mail are going to be nice and family friendly and stuff like that, because that's the kind of channel we have here. So, here we go. This is a box I got from Wheelz4217. The backstory is, I posted on Instagram and Facebook when I had the Alpha Trooper. Let me go get it. That I put together with parts from Ragnarok. I got this guy from Alice. I got this guy from a guy that I can't remember who the heck he was. But I bought some things. And the Alpha Trooper is just in a lot of junk that I bought recently. And so I was originally going to put this on a Retallicon. This one over here, as a matter of fact. But it's very weak and it's not as cool so far. It might become cool later on, and then I can transfer this. But I thought it was really cool that to have a nice, like, kind of 2013 era blaster that's all put together and wrote on the post that I was either considering swapping in EAT internals if I could do that, or try to round up a really old period correct internal kit. And I was messaged by one Wheelz4217 on Instagram, and he said, how'd you feel about trading some things for an Alpha Trooper that has the Orange Mod Works full kit and an upgraded spring? And I said, well, that's a very attractive offer. And so we discussed some things, and that should be what's in the box. Now, in the meantime, if you have an Instagram, go check him out on Instagram because he has a very, very, very cool looking long shot that he's working on, or at least was working on a while back, and he said he's still tinkering with it. But it's a yellow long shot, but it has pieces of a Stampede for the stock, but not what you think. But then it's got like a Recon stock butt pad integrated in, and it just looks super neat. But then he has a long shot front gun piece connected to a Recon barrel, but it's kind of matches up with the long shot lines. It's just really super, super neat, and it made me all excited when I saw it. So go talk to him about that. So, oh, where are you guys at? Yes. Oh, you got your CETA. Congratulations. I think that's congratulations. Okay. So, ooh, that's fancy. The Massacre Outbreak. That's, you know, if... I don't know a whole lot about Orangemont Works, except for the fact that they're always like years behind the times. But they do package nicely. I will give them that. So what do we got here? This is a... Ooh, stock internals. That's nice. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ugh. And stickers? Heck yes, stickers. Awesome. Okay. Well, those are just stock internals, which is cool to include that because they're of no value to him, especially if he doesn't have the blaster they came out of. So let's set that aside. Feels kind of weird. Anyway, okay, so we'll get this box out of the way. Ha! Ah, he included the drum too. That's cool. That's cool. Because I've got, let's see, well, I've got one here, and I think I have 4. Where the heck did I put those? A minute ago, I think I had 4 of these, so now I have 5, which is cool. So that's, yeah, just super neat. So let's just cram a few of these in here. And see exactly what we're dealing with. Oh, hey. Okay, let's shoot something through the chronograph real quick, just to get kind of a ballpark of where we are. A few more in. Okay. Oh, come on now. Play nice. That's 84, got a 75 and a, you know, there we go. I thought my little light burned out. Okay. Sorry. Having some feeding issues? Okay. That was an 84. This is a 83. 72. 65. 68, 67, 83, that's cool. Do a couple more just for the heck of it. So it's no stellar performer, but it does bring the old tech up to elite-ish performance. And in fact, I believe that's kind of what the... where's my... I think I got an orange one over here. Oh, hey. Packing stuff. So this one here is 63. Let's see what this guy's got. This has a 5 kilogram, I believe. 54. What the heck? 62. 65. 81. 75. 74. Misfire. Come on now. You can do better than that. Okay. Well, yeah, getting similar-ish performance. I'm not sure if this thing is all maxed out or what. It's kind of a cool, I guess it's the polycarbonate, but it's the kind of a weird... I don't know if it'll show on camera. See that? Yeah, you can kind of see. It's kind of a clear, orangey, yellow, amber, I guess, color polycarbonate, and that bolt sled and the bolt and who knows whatever else is all that same color. So that's neat. 74. So yeah, pretty good. I guess that means I can take and move this guy over and this guy over, because just for the sake of comparison to some of our younger and fresher people joining the hobby that don't know the beautiful thing that InStrike was, $44. 44. 35. Now, just to the corner of the room is where I have my dart catcher right now, and these are barely making it. 45. 49. So yeah, that's InStrike performance. So it's nice to discard this guy and now have a elite performing and yet still classy looking Alpha Trooper brought up into the modern century. So what do we got here? You guys talking about? Oh boy, you guys been talking a whole lot. Sorry about that. Don't mean to ignore you. Oh, Edscar, 80 FPS from a Verse Plunger. Yeah, close to it anyway. I'm not sure if there's any... It sounded like there's a little more thwack than I would like to have from a, you know, something. It seems like there's more spring than what or more air getting moved than what can be used. So I don't know if it can benefit from a snugger dart fit. Technology has advanced substantially since the InStrike days, even aftermarket and modding technology and knowledge. So there might be a way to bring this even closer, even further into kind of current standards. So we'll just kind of feed this guy in like that. Go 77. Still respectable. Like I said, it's still performing better than this Alpha Trooper that I don't know anything about except for I jammed a spring in, but I have a feeling that it's not getting a very good seal. I could probably benefit from that. Close to range, bullets loud, yeah. Considering brass breaching my AT and converting to half mags plus one. Yes, Alice, I've actually considered the same thing. I tend to run an Alpha Trooper when we're just doing backyard wars because I don't like using the hardcore full auto overhauled flywheel stuff around the kids and things like that. It's just a little more fair and it's lightweight and fun. But I have considered, since I have grown up and converted to, starting to play with half lengths, they're really, really nice. And I thought, man, that'd be nice to have just an Alpha Trooper that ran half length magazines. Since I have a couple of these, yeah, I have considered that idea, and it would be nice to see somebody else who knows what they're doing, see kind of from them how that actually works. Ooh. Cheddar Avenger, I very much do have a chronograph. It's a Pro Chrono digital, and it sits over there. And it's got a light shining on it, so my numbers are accurate-ish. RZ Rider, can you mail me the moon? If you can find an envelope that you can fit the moon into, but I think you'd upset a lot of people if you took the moon and gave it to some dude in Idaho. And I'm not really sure where I'd park it. We have an extra driveway, but the moon's a little bit bigger. It depends. This morning it was about the size of a quarter. So, I mean, it might fit, but I think it gets bigger when it gets closer. So. Classic. Yes, Alice, I need to... Where the heck did that go? Get it out of the garbage. Yep. I can't remember who the heck it was, but somebody on... Was it Facebook? Yes, it was some dude on Facebook. Peter, said, hey, on your Alpha Trooper, since you have that really cool stock on it, what you ought to do is take the priming grip off of a late model Alpha Trooper because it's a darker color. So as you can tell here, this is the darker color, which complements the stock and the rest of the gray better. So I said, hey, that's really cool, and I did it, and I liked it a lot, so now I need to do that. So for the heck of it, why don't we just stop talking about it and just do it, right? Yes, Alice, I very much do have CA glue and accelerator because it's pretty good in places. I don't think it's quite as good as you think it is, but we can agree to disagree. But it is pretty darn good stuff. This is the super, super thin that I like using in certain places, and I don't know where the heck oh, yeah, right there. That's the medium type stuff. Works pretty good, except for this is really old and thick and heavy. But yes, very good stuff. Highly recommended from reliable sources. What am I doing? That's better. Over here being silly, playing with manual stuff. RZ Rider, I think if you're going around trying to like mail celestial bodies, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. I'm not to, I'm not gonna try to shut you down, but it just as a word of warning, you're gonna upset a lot of people. It's nice to have ambitions though, and plans. 68. Still pretty solid. Now we have probably the coolest this Alpha Trooper ever has been, and probably ever will be. So, thank you very much to Wheelz. What the heck is the number? 4217. Again, go check him out. He has that really cool long shot that he's been working on, that he has posted on Instagram. Check it out. It'll make you smile. It made me smile. All right. Well, that's, oh, gotta get caught up. Once upon a time, I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and if you saw that on Facebook and Instagram, I bought basically a lot of the busted blasters that Dart Wars got rid of when they closed, and in that stuff was one of these little patches, and I had 2 of them, and now I have 1, because I was approached by one Nugget on Instagram, and he says, I'd sure like to have that. How'd you like to trade patches? And I said, well, I think that'd be just fine, because I don't need 2. And so I traded him that one, and what I got in exchange was this Blow No Dart League patch that I can add to my patches and things. Like that one. I need to put that one away. Also, I received this very fancy looking one. This is from Exiled, a fella in Singapore who does those really crazy integrations. It was actually one of my first inspirations when I got into the hobby that made me say, wow, I want to cut stuff up like that guy. He does really cool things with those. So, also, nice little patch. I need to put those... I got enough of these things now. I need to find some really cool way to display them, since I can't wear them all. What the heck you doing, man? Don't knock over my stuff. Don't knock over my stuff. Is it scary? All right, what the heck's going on? Oh, this guy trying to steal the moon. At the same time. RZ Rider. I have my issues with epoxy putty because it does some things well, but it gets used for a lot more things than it really should be getting used for. I've never had good luck with it. I've had poor luck with it, plenty of poor luck with it. If you have good luck with epoxy putty and you get the results that you were looking for, then I can't say that you're doing it wrong. I just have never had, I've never really used it and really been happy. I've never been like, I really like this stuff. I've never had that experience. I do like DevCon though. DevCon always treats me nice. It always gives me the results I'm looking for. It does exactly what I want it to do, and it does it really well. So, okay. Armods, you say patchboards are the bee's knees. The bee's knees. Wow, that's really reaching way back for that one. Okay. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, we got another Wheelz. Is that you? With different numbers. Okay. That's weird. Alright. Yeah, if you're just getting in. Yes, it's great. I'm happy with it. Hitting elite-ish performance. Which reminds me to shut that guy down. Shut the chronograph off, because I think we're done playing with that. So, Edskar, you say you've had bad luck with DevCon, which makes me really think that you're probably doing it wrong. Are you using the actual plastic welder? Because there's multiple types of DevCon. DevCon's just a brand. I have heard of people using other, like one that's like a plastic epoxy or something like that. That's not as good. This is the DevCon plastic welder, cream color. Love it a lot. So, I'm sorry you've had a bad experience. That bums me out because I like bragging this stuff up, and when it makes somebody's stuff not go well, then it's always kind of a bummer. Wolfpack Nerf, hey, how are you? Yes, RZ Rider, there is a thing about bad batches of DevCon. If it gets too old or it gets too warm, it freaks out, and then it's a nightmare. When it gets, like, I didn't have too much issue with it this year, but last year, year before, when the hot weather comes along, then it kills the shelf life to where it's either bad before it gets off the truck, or it's like bad by the time you get it home, or whatever. So it's kind of hit or miss, but when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's still bad. Wolfpack Nerf started a new integration, Centurion Mastodon. Boy, oh boy. Oh, that'd be cool. I'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, and that's basically what it does. It's if you buy it fresh, it works real good and it mixes totally different. So don't let your bad experiences hold you back. But then again, if you're frustrated with it, then that's okay. If you find as long as you find a product that does what you need it to do and you like it, then by all means just do that. So all right, well, I've opened all the cool things that I have for right now. You guys have any questions, or you want to see things, or want to talk about stuff, or I mean, I've been up. How long have we been up? How long have we been doing this? Like, not even half hour, right? Oh, Alice, you're doing an integration held together with literal snot. Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm probably going to avoid those streams if you're streaming it. Although this is the time of year to be doing that, there's seems to be plenty of it going around. Oh. Rotor Fury. Oh yeah, Wheels, Rotor Fury project. I mentioned that. Not that one. I actually have this shotgun cylinder that I got like last year, but you have to be able to use it, you have to cut the barrel off so that there's enough room for the darts to actually come out. And so I was going to turn that into an integration project, and I had some stuff planned, but I haven't done anything with it, which means that I have really old review footage of this. Because the installation went pretty good. It was actually like kind of an install type video thing, overview. But I was going to have it all part of the same kind of overall project overview thing. But this is as far as it's gotten. But I need to add some kind of barrel of some kind, because when the darts come out, they hit this little wall, this tiny little bit here, and then they like run into each other and then like shoot sideways. And so the darts actually like fly sideways before they get to the end of the actual barrel, which is kind of frustrating. But when they actually do shoot out, then they, go fine. So I've just been basically trying to find a good barrel material, hopefully something like orangish, or that can be painted orangish, that's big enough to fit in here, but also thin wall, but also, yeah, I'm kind of picky on what I want. So when I find it, cool things are going to happen with this. Because, like I said, when it does work good, it works good. And I'm excited to have a cool 10-round cylinder shotgun. How's your rider? Warthog. Warthog looks exactly the same as it did last time you saw it in the video. Did I post that video? I think I posted that video. Another one. So it's still like that. It's basically attached along this seam most of the way. I shortened this up. I want to reshape this a little bit. And in fact, while I'm thinking about it, one thing I do want to do is I'm thinking about cutting this off a little shorter even, pulling it up, and then adding a foregrip from a Paragon, that kind of cool thumb-holey thing, because I think it would be cool to have that, where the kind of handguard thing comes down, have it come right down around through, not a hand guard, it's the actual grippy thing, but it's kind of curvy, had it kind of curved down this way. I think that'd be kind of neat. I kind of held it up and eyeballed it, but I also don't have a Paragon that I'm ready to cut up yet, because they both work. But if I come across one, then I'm going to cut it up and see how that goes. Other than that, that's just kind of how it is. Okay. Going to start slapping Vulcan chains on the sides of blasters just for looks, because there's never going to be a good chain-fed blaster. Yeah, that's only partially true. People who are, what do you call it, afterburning Vulcans are doing pretty good. But you're still, like, the efficiency of loading chains is always going to suck, but using chains effectively is always going to be awesome looking. Milan, Devil's Call. Don't think the thumb hole aesthetic would work with that big of a blaster. Are you disagreeing with my choice, or are you saying it looks okay but you didn't expect that, or what? Explain yourself. We're up here for discussion, right? How's the Dominator going? It's going like this. It's cool enough. It's it's one of those things where if you want it, then good, and if you don't want it, you don't need it, which is really nice because I hate things that I don't need but I want anyway. So really, all the Dominator offers, where that the Swordfish doesn't, is the extra space up here, and a handguard, and the Gargantuan mag. But if you don't need any of those things, then you really don't need this. If you think it's cool looking, then that's objective, of course, and that's entirely up to you. I think it looks super neat. I'm a big fan of how it looks. I hate the fact that it's asymmetrical still. I wish they would have bumped this side out even just a little bit more than they needed to. But yeah, I'm not sure why. Because just look at this. It's just a. That's a lot of material. That's just a box, and there's nothing here. It's like, can you put something over here so just something to balance it out a little bit? But from the side, it's terrific. Yeah, battery stock is. I was using this guy when I had it on 3S, because the 3S pack that I have, I could just wedge in there and it would hold in place just for testing and stuff. Not a permanent solution, of course, but I do want to find some kind of more permanent fix, because I don't have a single battery that'll work in the battery tray, even with the extended door on it, wherever the extended door is. Because all my batteries are too tall this way, or way too thick this way, because you can't just cut out the top like you can with a stripe, because the pusher is just right there. I could probably trim some of it, but then that's also where the mounts are for the switch, for the cycle control switch. So that's out. I mean, I could probably cut into this, just this front 3/4 or so, 2/3, but then you have to find a battery that's like square, and it's just not worth it to me. So I'm thinking this is the. So right now we have the potentiometers on this side, which they're still holding up. I'm kind of surprised. This is now running fangs, which seem to have a lot more current than the original motors. So I don't know if these are spec'd for having all 6, which is kind of surprising because it's a really small package. But what I'm thinking about doing is taking these off, because every time you open the blaster, you have these 2 guys and all the wires going with it. So what I want to do is take and mount the potentiometers on this door and have them sitting in here. I'm thinking if I can make that work, that'd be super cool, since I'm not using that space anyway. That way all the components are on the one side of the shell. Since I already have the battery going out the back, then I just develop a battery stock of some kind. I like the one Jangular was using on his video today. I was watching that and I was like, I like that stock. I need a stock like that. I can't remember who the heck he got it from, or where he found it or whatever, but I want to find something like that, or build something like that, because I'm not sure if that stock in particular is big enough for the battery I would need to run. So, yes. Yes, the battery is currently sitting in the stock right now, in the magazine, because it fits in there. It's a kind of a crappy old battery, but yeah, you just kind of squeeze it up in there and make sure you're not pinching anybody off, and then you just go on now. Just kind of click it in there. Guess there's no insulation on that wiring because this is all still test wiring. I didn't want to go using heat shrink and then find out I needed to change things. That said, those are bare connections and I do need to do something about it. Devil's Call. I think the Paragon grip would be too small and not a good addition. I very much like it as it is, but if you went with the foregrip, I'd go for vertical or horizontal grip. Definitely, I do want to consider that. I'm not happy with where it is shape-wise. I do want to pull it a little higher, because it still looks, I mean, I took, I think, like a ½ inch or so out of the overall height of the Mastodon front, but I do want to trim it up a little bit more, make it a little leaner looking, but I just haven't quite decided the best way to go about that. But yes, the Paragon does seem a bit small, but they're going to have like kind of smaller-ish hands, kind of-ish, and so kind of mocking it up, holding it, it still felt good. But we'll kind of see how it goes. Like I said, I do want to change what's going on up front. I just don't have a plan of attack yet, which is one of the reasons why it's still sitting there in the ugly chair. Also because I have all my junk in the chair because I took down the walls so I could put pegboard up all the way across the wall instead of just those two little panels. I'm kind of redoing the whole corner here where I have my dart catching box and my pegboard and the chair and stuff like that. Redoing all that. So the whole garage is a mess because I had to pull all that stuff out, knock out the walls, and do crazy things like that. So that's why there hasn't been any real progress on any of those projects that are currently sitting in my chair right now. Yes, Ed, that's everything about that is correct. I'm not going to say uglier than the swordfish because I hate the swordfish. I don't like anything about it. I do think it's more attractive than the swordfish, but yes, you are true. The battery tray is still negligent, as you say. And like the pull still, yeah, it's still screwed up, but at least it's a little more, it's easier to look at. It still has a nasty trigger, but whatever. Pete Fuzzy Pete. The barrel is actually a little injection molded men gun piece that I got from NF Strike several months ago. I made an order, and it was one of those things where it's like I had a couple bucks left in my spendability money, and I was like, what the heck, I need to get some little muzzle attachments and stuff because I hate the in-strike attachment, so it's like if I can get something to distract that a little bit, that'd be cool. So it's just a cute little guy that it's cool because it either fits inside of an in-strike attachment or it fits on the outside of barrel material. So it'll fit on the outside here, but it'll also fit, where the heck is a thing with an in-strike attachment deal? But it also fits on the inside of a stripe. So you can have that guy, or you can have it on a standard faux barrel tube. So it's super cool. It was like $2-3 or something like that. Might get another one or two just because it's kind of a nice little addition. Like I said, it detracts from the in-strike attachment, and it covers up just your bare stuff. Battery stock should be more common in Nerf. Yes. Potentiometers are actually PWM modules. Got a handful of them sitting on my desk. If they cause you trouble, I can show you how to modify them to take more power. Interesting. They're a bit smaller than I expected, because I know the one that I put in the Big Chaos was a giant brick of a thing, like that big. You know, took up like half the battery tray. But it was also rated. In fact, that one wasn't even rated to handle that Hellcat pusher. It handled the Rhino just fine, but when I tried to put the Hellcat in there, it made it upset. So I'm kind of surprised these guys are holding up as well as they are. But I do like the ability to have an actual, like, off switch, basically, and being able to isolate the pusher. So that's kind of a nifty feature, but it's not like a make it or break it to where it's like, oh, that thing has this. Hi.
Found these when we were doing leaves.
Excellent.
And
you're live.
Oh.
Hey, thanks
sorry.
though.
I couldn't find your thing.
Oh, I'll look for it when I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Love you.
Okay. That was my mother. She came in to visit and drop off these darts that were in her yard. Um, yes, potentiometer things, PWMs, yes. Anyway, got sidetracked there. They're holding up so far. But yes, if I do have any issues, I don't really need the one on the flywheels. I'm thinking about taking it off anyway, but I do kind of like having the one on the pusher just because it's like, I like this right here. Nice for like controllable stuff, but I like to be able to bump it up if I want to, because I like having options. Oh. Okay. Oh, Devil's Call. Need to catch some sleep. Well, hey. Well, thanks for stopping in for a little bit before you went to bed. And, yeah, sleep well and good luck with your studies or whatever. And we'll see you whenever, next time or something. See you sometime, I'm sure. Night. Nerfinator. Hasbro will not be making any kind of battery stocks because they don't want you to have to mess with that. They want you to put in the little Duracells so that they can have their whole buy Duracells cast into their blaster so they can get a kickback from Duracell. I don't think they'll ever move to where you have like a stock that you can put like practical batteries into, which is a bummer. But that's why we have aftermarket and we have modders and cool things like that. Ed Scar, that's not quite how it goes. She has cast her own fair share of darts into her yard as well. But yes, that was unexpected. Yes, Homely, she was a bit alarmed looking when I said you're live. She was kind of like, crap, what do I do? Like, am I supposed to not say anything? I don't know. But no, she's cool. All right. Holy smokes, 28 of you guys. Wow. I'm not sure what to do with that many people. Well, thanks for watching and all that. But yeah, anyway, I posted on Instagram what I've done here. I did put the Foam Blast mag release, which is just heads and shoulders above the worker one. I don't like the worker one at all. I thought I did until I actually got one. But you do have to trim out this little area just right here in the corner, in the front corner, and it's just a quick little clip and snip, and you can see where the plastic's kind of distressed just because I went in there kind of hog wild and cut it out. But if you were halfway sensible about it and just trimmed it out nicely, then it would make absolutely no evidence. If you're like concerned about screwing up the clearness of it, then you know, there's nothing to worry about there. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't look like it's cut out or anything. All you have is a better mag release. And I do have to talk about the fit on this insert here, which is just an actual drop-in piece, which is kind of cool and kind of silly at the same time because it's nice and friction fit right now. But if you pull them out, you know, how many times is it going to be before you pull them out and then they get all loose? And then every time you rev the blaster, you have your adapters in there flopping around or falling out when you take the mag out. But it's such an awesome fit. It's just a nice dropout. Just so, be it's like not loose. Like Retaliators tend to be a little bit loose, but they have the nice clean dropout. This seems to be like the perfect balance where it just drops out, and it's great. And I love the fit of the worker mags because it's just such a beautiful, like, it's like less wiggle. It's, you know, tighter tolerances than the Hasbro parts, but it's just such a clean, like, whoosh. It's like if it was a cartoon, it'd make like a cool drawing the sword noise, like that cool like whoosh noise. It's just great, and I love it so much. Which is a killer selling point for me because I don't like things like strikes and rapid strikes where, how's this one? Yeah, you can get it out eventually, or you can get in there and cut a bunch of stuff out and shave things down to get the fit you want. But I like how that thing is, where you can just You just walk up, say, hey, how are you? Put the thing in there, and you're good to go. So I do like that a lot. That is worth something to me. And I did put this foregrip on because I needed something, and I didn't like the I didn't like this guy on there. I didn't like the feel. It didn't fit me. But yeah, it's I will say the structure, the build of the shell is fantastic. Like, I have blasters just kind of laying around everywhere, and I picked this one up the other day, and I was like, picked it up and instantly was like, wow, this feels nice. It's like got a good weight to it without being like unusually heavy or whatever. But you pick it up and it doesn't creak or move or anything. You just pick it up and it's like, hi, and it's like, oh, hey, how are you? And it's just very solid. And I like it a lot, as opposed to other things you pick up and there's like other kind of moving things, or it creaks or does anything weird, or it just feels like, I don't know, there's just something about it that just makes you feel confident picking it up, which is nice. And the Swordfish didn't have that. It's still a good solid quality, but it just didn't have that same feel when you picked it up. And it could have something to do with the stupid scales all over the grip that I hated. Oh, thank you. I have to call it a night. It's almost 11. Holy smokes. Cynical Maniac. Mac? Cynical Mank. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, and rest well. Ah, crap, Alice. I didn't notice you leaving. If you're still here, then goodbye. And I'll either catch you on one of your streams, or you're always welcome back. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing this. Probably not very much longer. But have a wonderful evening. Vast Neon, abandoned turning the Raptor Strike into a flywheeler. I have ideas about that. In fact, I talked about that in my Ragnarok video, which I just posted, or just finished last night, and I'm going to post it for this weekend. I do mention that, so I'm not going to talk about that quite yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I don't know if that's a solid plan, but it's an idea anyway. Edscar, never been a fan of drop-free. I like the reassuring little bit of friction on a tightly fit mag. I can understand that. However, there's also things like, excuse me, thank you. These guys, the NF Strike branded things, they're really cool looking, but they're super, super snug. Like, you have to be like, I want that mag in there. And you actually, well, it's not as bad, but it's like, you have to, like consciously put the thing in. You can't just, like, walk up and be like, boom, thing's in there, and it's great. It's like, especially on, what the heck was it? Oh, this guy over here. I was playing with this guy because I have plans, but it's like a stiff, like, it's a fit that says, hey, this wasn't designed properly, which is a bummer. But no, I do like a little bit of friction. I don't like it so loose that it wobbles around, but I think this is one of those things you just have to handle because it's just so darn satisfying. It doesn't feel overly loose. It's not like uncomfortably loose where you're like, hey, your mag's kind of loose. It's just like, oh, it's just a joy to use. But there again, we can always agree to disagree because we're civilized human beings and we can do that. Huh. Alexander, wouldn't that panel system make printing a katana-style adapter really easy? 2 custom panels and presto. Yeah. I don't see why that wouldn't be a fantastic idea. In fact, just with how this thing is running, I actually had thought about the ability to run half-lengths in it, but I thought it was kind of silly to have to run adapters in your adapter. But if you just make adapters that pop in there, that's actually super cool. Then you just have to rig up some kind of pusher extension. But this would be fabulous to run half-lengths in, especially if you go, 2 or 3 stages on here. You could get half darts, shooting out of a flywheeler, getting the cool half dart accuracy, getting 200 or above or whatever, and have the killer rate of fire. So if you can shoot half-length, super accurate, that fast, there's something to that. So I'm sure there's somebody else working on that, but if nobody's working on that, that is definitely worth bringing up because, especially if you're not using the stupid brick magazine, then that gives you another really awesome option. So thank you very much for bringing that up. I'm going to suggest that to some people that I know. Pete Fuzzy Pete, I just did the brick with the full auto. I went ahead and just rewired everything all at once, so I wasn't having to do it this way and then having to change the wiring and stuff, because I wanted to use the existing wiring kit stuff, and I didn't want to go having to switch things around or cut things or add stuff as much as possible. So I did not test anything with semi-auto. I just went straight to automatic. But I do know that I think Jangular and Outer Darts both started with the semi-auto, if I remember right. So once we get some really cool data from those guys, then we'll have a little bit better idea of what the capabilities are of the brick. Although, just the way they're fitting, I don't know if a semi-automatic pusher would benefit more, except for maybe you could feel better when it's not. I mean, you like the more tactile, being able to feel the fact that you're not pushing anything in and be able to bump it around, as opposed to just pulling the trigger and just going, you know, just pushing the pusher above the darts. So yeah, so far just the auto. Pistachio, how are you? And don't worry, there's no tardiness here. You can show up and come and go as you please. There's no structure around here. Darth Nick, yes, the lipo is currently sitting in this magazine because I needed a place to put it, and that worked. Really, all I needed for the time being was something to get the battery out of the way, and there wasn't room in the battery compartment, which is silly and kind of a poor design, in my opinion. But yes, the battery is currently just hiding in there. Oh, Ed Scar, way to take care of that for me because I'm behind. But yeah, so it does technically work. It does kind of hug the wires a little bit here. It's not a permanent fix by any means. I would not do this in like a permanent way of doing things like, this is my answer to my battery storage issue. This is like, I need a place to put the battery for a couple minutes. Hey, relax. Just relax. Things in development, cannot say more transformations coming. It's good. Biased. 2 silly long videos about the. Oh yes, Ed, your videos on printed magazines, very good watching. Although I still had pretty good luck with my Vorpals and my CA glue. Did have pretty good luck, but that video is going to come out now that I actually have internet. We got the internet hooked up last night, so now I can actually import stuff and put videos together and post videos and cool things like that. So yeah, Purple video. Very impressed though. I do have to say, I've never built a magazine before, but I really do like these foam blast springs. The constant force, constant pressure, the coily deals. I do like those guys. It just makes for a very nice, confident feeling. I haven't been able to actually test them by like loading them into anything yet because I don't have anything. I have a long shot that's short mag compatible, but I don't have any magwell adapter thing yet. So once I get that under control, then I can actually start testing these guys. So yes, Vorpals are where it's at for right now, anyway, in my opinion. At least I'm impressed. Very impressed for a kit built for something with a billion little pieces. Mine went together very well. I was really pleased. Alexander, why not use the stupid brick mag as a part to even out the smaller sides of the Dominator? You mean just like use the cool clear portions to basically extend? Huh. I'm not sure I'd go that heavy into it, but there's a lot of plastic here. But I think I'm going to pass this off to somebody who can appreciate it for what it is instead. But as far as the brick itself, if you can get the brick to work, if you're one of those people, in fact, I talk about this in the video, if you're one of those people that buys, single-use darts, and you're happy with that, this would probably work for you. And by all means, if that's your loadout style and that's your play style, then I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong. It just doesn't work for me because I just grind my darts into the ground, until they can't shoot at anything. Then because I'm super casual. But people that are hardcore at it, this might be a very viable thing. But there again, I discussed that in depth in the video. This should be coming up next week. I still have a lot of footage to edit, and then so I'm gonna aim for next week on the release for that. Constant force, yes, I think I said that once. I'm not sure, but yes, that is the correct one. Somebody used to make 3D printers. J4GK. The only way to get one at the moment is to buy one. That is incorrect. What the heck? I'm sorry. Tungsten makes mag adapters for. Does he make a long shot one? I know he makes them for the Strife and Rapid Strike that are forward set. I think he makes one. Is it a long shot? It seems like he makes a universal type one. And there's somebody else that I saw that had a printed one that's also an adapter, but I can't remember whose it was. So yes, there is more than just having to buy from Jet. Does the brick mag have grooves in it to guide them near the top? You mean kind of the same way that Nerf mags do, to make sure you only load it in one way? Yeah, kind of. It's got, I don't know if you can see, but I'll try to, it does have two rather wide, but it does make it to where you can load it backwards. As we saw in Brett's video. It's very easy to load this backwards, apparently. Not only the darts, but also loading it into the blaster. Although it doesn't have the, which I don't know why it has a whole full-length cutout for the mag release, or the mag catch. Because it doesn't need to be. I don't know why they did that. Why not just have it that wide? But I guess it's not. It's still structurally sound. Like the mag itself is solid. Like it's a nice piece. It's not. It doesn't creak or anything. It's the bottom plate snaps in, so you can pull it out and service the spring and the follower and stuff like that. There's no. I believe this is all kind of solvent welded together. But the follower spring is nice. It's nice and consistent all the way to the top. When it fed side to side just fine, then it fed good. But as far as like the spring and the follower doesn't have really any movement side to side. I was really impressed until I tried to fire things out of it. So the mag itself, if it operates correctly, is a good solid magazine and a heck of a buy. I mean, I think this thing is like, oh, it's like double the capacity, but yet it's not double the price. It's like just like another 50% more, if I remember right. But no, and that's a bad thing. And there again, as more and more people test these things, we'll be able to get an average. Because, like I said, I use these junk darts that, I mean, they're not junk, they're still solid. But I use used darts, and that's what I use. If you're using brand new darts, they probably work fine. I mean, we saw out of darts, I saw his firing test thing, and that seemed to work all right for him. And somebody else, I can't remember right, said they weren't having issues. I assume when they were testing it, they're using new darts, and it was working fine. So it very well could be, and I hate, because now that people are asking about him, everybody's like saying, hey, Mr. Nathan didn't have luck with it. And that's true. I have no anecdotal evidence to be like, this is okay, you can use this. All the evidence that I have in all of my testing that I did said I could not get this to work reliably in a way that made me feel comfortable using this in a war scenario. Your mileage may vary. So that's entirely, once we gather more data, then we'll be able to have a nice we'll be able to step back and have an analytical look at things and say, okay, under these conditions it works, under these conditions it doesn't. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. I'm doing a Strife Alpha Hawk integration. Any advice? I've seen them done before, and so I don't think there's anything super tricky. It depends on how you go about integrating the grips. You know, how you plan to go that route. I saw Nick Marvin did a couple. I think he started one and then he abandoned it, sold it off. Then he did another one. I think Prickly Snurf Mods ended up buying one of them, and he finished it. So you can check those guys out to look for how it was put together. You know, where the cuts were made and stuff like that. Because his looked pretty darn good. I was pretty happy with how his came out. So you might check into them because they have first-hand experience on it. I still do not have an Alpha Hawk. I do want to get an Alpha Hawk because I do want to do some cutting on it, and I have some ideas. I just haven't acquired one yet, so I can't say from experience how the shells relate to each other or anything. But yeah, go check their. I think they both had pretty good posts on Instagram as far as progress and stuff like that. And then if you have any particular questions, then they might be happy to answer you. Unscrupulous. Hey, how are you? Random questions about the brick mag. Would cut down megas fit in there? Let's find out. Huh. I'm not sure about the science of cut down megas, but let's just say they're about, yeah, it's about that much too long. But as far as width-wise, well, there we go. Is that going to show you? There we go. Sorry, the stream delay is killing me. So they're about like that. So if you think that'll work for your purposes, then that's up to you. Although if you have something that's shooting cut down megas, I'm kind of interested. So hopefully, if that's more than just a fleeting fancy or a silly idea, then I'm sure it'd be great for you to share with the rest of the class at some point. Oh boy, sounds like Europe's shutting down. So Edskar, Alexander, good night. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again sometime. Updates on your secret project? Yes. Thanks, Alex. Edskar, you're going nowhere. Good heavens, man. Well, if this is interesting enough to keep you awake, then you're more than welcome to stick around. I'll probably be wrapping up here in just a little bit because I forgot to let the dog out when I got home. Whoops. Ha! He's probably gonna want to go out here in a little bit, so we'll have to go kick the ball around or something. All right. When or if skill is finished, would you mind me sending it to you as a gift, of course? That entirely depends. I'm trying to remember which one that is. I believe you shared pictures of that with me a long time ago. I do have a P.O. box, and so if you're like, I want to send you things, then by all means, I cannot stop anyone. However, you said as a gift, so you don't have to pay attention to this, but I had people say, hey, I want to send you a thing, but I want it back. And I'm not in a situation where I can do that. And I know people are going to say, hey, but you did it to Wacom. And I still feel bad. Like, I put it in the mail, and I told him, hey, I'm going to send you a thing. And then I realized, crap, that's going to be a pain in the neck for him to put that back in a box and ship it again. And so I still feel bad, and so I'm still standing by. I can't return things, only because I hate packaging things, and it's like, I just don't want to handle the stress of trying to put something back in the box. I realize what a crappy situation I put him in, and I don't want to be put in that situation. So, yes. So yeah, if you want to send a thing, then I'd be happy to look at it, open it up in front of people like this, and talk about it and do things like that. Because this is going to become a regular thing. When I get stuff in the mail, I'm gonna throw up a stream and be like, "Hey, let's see what I got in the box," and we'll talk about it. And it'll be great. We can all kind of hang out for a little bit. So, Alice, how are you? Welcome back. Okay, printed blaster. Okay, that's right. Um, Shoot, I don't think I've seen updates on that for quite a while. I think you sent me some rough sketches, or some of your rough, kind of your first things a while back. I'm gonna have to go back and look at those pictures, see what you're up to then. All right. Well, gee whiz, Alice, you came all the way back, and I was just thinking about wrapping up. So, yes, Ed, that's kind of what I did. I was like, hey, I can send you money and stuff, and he's like, don't worry about it. So, um, interested in how dual stage needs to be set up. I'm considering a Raven Demolisher integration with dual stage as my winter project, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing at this point. Um, I don't know that much about dual stage either. There is several schools of thought, and I don't think there's enough data gathered to say, to really be definitive. The common practice is to have the second stage be higher RPM, basically acting as, the primary stage would then be essentially a exaggerated pusher. It's just getting the flywheel, or getting the dart into the second flywheels faster, so you don't have that inertia thing of like pushing a stagnant dart into flywheels. You're pushing a fast-moving dart into faster-moving flywheels. But there are people infinitely more qualified to discuss that, although I do want to play with dual stage at some point because I have a handful of Ravens over there and I want to do cool things with them. In fact, I did play with the idea of having Yellow Jacket with dual stage, but I think I ended up cutting out that area and putting the rough cut in there instead. But I do want to play with that at some point because at the very least, I don't want to have like crazy like afterburner performance. I just really want to have the performance of not barrel drag, which I think would be a good place to start. So, alrighty. Well, do you guys have any direct questions or anything interesting or whatever? Because if you don't, I think I'm going to shut things down. It's 4:25, so let's aim to have things shut down by 4:30. Unless there's nothing going on right now, and then we'll just call it quits 5 minutes early, because that was always fun in school, wasn't it? But anyway, start wrapping up now. Um, oh, Alice, hopefully get my lathe in. I can start doing some experiments in higher FPS flywheel blasters. I am interested already. Um, no, thanks for everybody stopping by. It's cool to open a box and a sieve just like talking to the camera. I'm kind of talking to the camera, but I'm also talking to people that talk back, and so it's kind of cool to have a kind of a roundtable discussion of, hey, I got this thing in the box, and people are like, hey, what's about this thing in the box? And I could be like, well, let me tell you about this thing in the box, and it's a little more involved and exciting and fun. So thank you very much all for swinging by, and I don't know how often this is going to happen because I won't know until I go to the post office and I have a piece of paper that says, you have a box, it's too big to fit in your box. So I'm expecting a box relatively soon. I don't know if it'll be this week, but I'm probably going to aim for, hey, shh, probably going to aim for doing things on like towards closer to the weekend, closer to the end of the week. But I knew this box was in, and I decided to grab it because I was excited to get it. So to those of you who came in late, this is what I just received. The Alpha Trooper, not the accessories. This is a old school Orange Mod Works, very low miles, massacre kit with the tinted polycarb bolt sled, bolt, and plunger, and metal trigger, and cool stuff like that. So thank you very much from Wheels, and those numbers that I can't remember, but they're on the title thing. So, all right, all right. Well, good night all, and we'll see you next time.